Hello, I'm Howard Hobson and this is my FCCLA Leadership Project. I named it Leaving a Legacy of Leadership because you can't just lead today and tomorrow. You have to leave a path for others to follow so they too can become great leaders. Roy T. Bennett once said that great leaders make more leaders. I started out with my FCCLA planning process by identifying a concern. My concern is that I'm in many different clubs and organizations, and in those clubs and organizations, I hold different leadership positions. And I want to know what kind of a leader I am so that I can better those clubs and organizations. My goal was to have this project done by March 4th, 2020, our state leadership conference, so that I could see my strengths and weaknesses through this project. And then I would find ways that I could strengthen my weaknesses and strengths. And then I would decide if this project really did help me. This project falls under Family Consumer Science Standards 1.2.6, demonstrate leadership, skills, and abilities in school, workplace, and community, as well as 13.5, demonstrate teamwork, leadership skills in the family, workplace, and community. Personal leadership profile. I've had the opportunity to be in FCCLA since 7th grade, as well as SGA since 7th grade. I've also been in 4-H since 1st grade, as well as Boy Scouts since 1st grade. I've had the opportunity to be in football as well as throwing in track since freshman, and here recently I've joined Sheriff Explorers. I filled out this checklist, and this checklist I believe shows me that most of my leadership skills were learned through school activities. Leadership competencies inventory self. My strengths were participating in group projects, as well as respecting those who are in my group, and practicing active listening in those groups. However, my weaknesses tended to be time management, as well as considering pros and cons before making a decision, and providing oral responses in class. I decided the third part, which was, in my opinion, the hardest, what I need to do to strengthen those weaknesses. I decided that I would sit down and come up with a calendar every week to help my time management, as well as I would make a list of pros and cons before making a big decision, and I will give input in classes, in group sessions. I filled out this form, and it showed me that I scored myself relatively high, with the lowest score being a 26 in critical thinking, and the highest being a 30. Leadership competencies inventory observer. I chose my football coach, Coach Snodgrass, as well as neighboring FCCLA advisor, Karen Kirtley, and my peer, Reed Schaefer, to fill out the same form that I had filled out previously. And it showed me that my coach, Coach Snodgrass, Observer 1, gave me the highest scores with all 30s except for a 29 in critical thinking, as well as Observer 2, Karen Kirtley, giving me the second highest score with an average of 26 per category, and Observer 3, Reed Schaefer, my peer, giving me an average of 23 per category. This showed me that effective interpersonal was my highest category, with a 26.1. Admirable leadership summary. My personal favorite part of the project, because I got to sit down and think, who is my favorite leader? Who's the leader that has affected me the most in my life? And I decided that it's my football coach, Coach Snodgrass, because his goal isn't just to make us good football players or good teammates. He wants to make us good men, so we can thrive in life. I then made a plan on what I was going to do to improve my weaknesses. I would sit down and watch a TED Talk to improve my time management. I would come up with websites to help me improve my time management. I would come up with ways to deeper find pros or cons. And doing all this, I would use SMART goals to try to make myself better, set a goal to make myself better. I do have to apologize here because yours is turned portfolio while mine is turned landscape. And I did that so you guys wouldn't have to turn your computer, but it did end up making the print a little bit smaller. Over here you can see my weakness, and then over here is what I want to do to strengthen my weaknesses. So time management is here. I want to sit down and make a calendar every week so I know what I'm doing. I want to watch a TED Talk on time management to help me. Here you can see I don't always put in pros and cons. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a list of pros and cons before making a big decision. Here you can see I don't always provide responses in class. So I'm going to start doing that, and in meetings and other places. Right here you can see my procrastination showing, because I was going to ask my coach Snodgrass to fill out one of these letters for me. However, with him being the head football coach as well as the athletic director, he was way too busy with basketball sectionals, and he couldn't have time to do this. So I ended up asking another one of my coaches, Coach Gray, my track coach, to fill out one of these letters, as well as Karen Kirk. Leadership reflection. Did this project really help me? And I think it did, because it showed me my weaknesses. It showed me what other people thought were my weaknesses. It gave me that outside view. Coach Snodgrass always says that you can't see the whole picture when you're inside of it. And this gave me an opportunity to see from other people's point of views what I could do good and what I can do better with. And the 4-H motto is to make the best better. And I believe that this project gave me the opportunity to do that, make my best leadership skills even better. I'm Howard Hobson. Thank you for your time.